Now in the first part of this tutorial I'm going to take the opportunity to go through what a URL shortener is and also show you the end result, which is essentially what you see here. We're going to be testing this in just a moment. Now a URL shortener takes long URLs that perhaps can't be put into Twitter posts or can't be viewed on a page properly if you have limited content space. Essentially this is a very useful tool. There are a lot of other websites out there such as bit.ly. For the purpose of this tutorial I've registered a domain called min.bz. So if you go over to your browser now and type in min.bz, you'll see more or less exactly what I can see now whilst recording this tutorial. So you can actually view a live demo yourself. This is going to be up and I'm going to keep this up into the foreseeable future. So if you go over to min.bz, the first thing that you'll notice is that the cursor or correct or whatever this is called, where you would start typing, automatically comes to this field. Now we're using jQuery in this tutorial for a variety of purposes. The first one is so I could achieve this effect. It can be done with plain JavaScript. You don't need to use a library such as jQuery. But I've done this simply for the fact that if someone is in a rush or needs to quickly shorten a URL, jQuery, or using jQuery in this sense, is going to be a lot quicker and easier than if we had to go through refreshing pages. So the correct automatically comes over to here. Then we can start typing something in. Now we have some error validation, if you like, so we have some error checking here. For example, if I was to press enter or just click shorten, you can do either. I'm going to press enter and you can see you've got this error message here, no URL specified. So we're performing error checking as well. The next thing is if you type in a URL which is not valid, so obviously this isn't valid as a domain name or a page, we're pressing enter and we get invalid URL. The last check, which we can't actually demonstrate at the moment, or actually I could, is if the URL looks like it's already a shortened URL, the / doesn't actually have to exist. So for example, if we type a load of random characters in here, this doesn't well, it's 6 characters that we have in total, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or numbers as well. If it looks like a min.bz URL or whatever your domain is, then we also get this error message that's already a min.bz URL. So we're checking that we don't want to double shorten something because there's no point to it. However, if we go ahead and we type in a valid domain name that isn't already a min.bz URL and we press enter, you can see that we have a confirmation message here, successfully shortened your URL, and we have already highlighted for us to go ahead and copy a shortened URL. So like I said, if you don't know how a URL shortener works, it's essentially taking the URL we've just entered, which is google.co.uk, and it's shortened it to this so we can fit it into somewhere. Obviously google.co.uk isn't a particularly long domain, I've just used it as an example. So if we were to copy this and go over to a new tab, okay, so we've opened a new tab, and we were to paste this into here and press enter, what will actually happen is it will redirect us to google.co.uk. So you can see that we are shortening something of any length, so it could be, for example, a 100-character URL, and we're condensing it down to this. And the way this works is it stores the URL in a database corresponding to this key. So as long as you copy this and paste it somewhere that you want your viewers to see the page that you've shortened and they access this, they'll come back to min.bz and be forwarded on to this longer URL. So that's essentially what we're doing here. We're doing it all on the same page. We're not performing any page refreshes. There's absolutely no point. The most up-to-date URL shorteners will always have some kind of quick and efficient way of shortening a URL rather than having to even click on this button. You've noticed that I haven't clicked on this button once. I've pressed enter, refreshed, we've not gone to any other page. All we've done is we've done this using jQuery. So that's essentially what it is. This is the way it's going to look. The design of this simple page here is available in the phpacademy.org forums. So if you go over to phpacademy.org/forum, you'll find this under the source code section. Just the plain design itself. What we are doing is we're using a variety of other pages. We are using, first of all, CGI bin and .ftb quoted don't matter in this case, but we have an htaccess file, which is important because this allows us to process the / rather than creating new folders. We've got db.inc.php, which connects to our database. We've got func.inc.php, which is a collection of functions that we're going to access to shorten things, check things, etc., etc. Index.php is the page that you currently saw in my browser. We've then got style.css, which is part of index.php, just to style things. Again, this is available in the forum. And we've got url.php. And url.php is essentially when we press enter or click shorten, is what we're going to transmit the data here to. So we're transmitting or processing and sending this URL here ready to be checked by this url.php file. And you can see I've got my FTP client open because I'm working on a remote server. I'm not working on my computer and using a local server. This is on a domain min.bz. So you can either do this on localhost, or you can create your own URL or use your existing domain to do this, but probably have a go on your local server first. I just did this for the effect that when we click shorten, we actually get the min.bz, and we are actually compressing rather than using our localhost. So that's the essential, the general idea of the tutorial. And we're going to be working with this design and creating everything and all the functionality that I've shown.